Hey, by
Not
the
that we
way,
know.
United and Chelsea have gotten fined by FFP before Manchester City.
That's ridiculous. Guys, someone has to explain this. Dumb it down to me because I can't understand this, right? How do they have 115 violations of FFP and still not faced
No,
any
these are not just FFP violations. Some of those violations are like the length of the grass at the Etihad.
Alright, just bring it down to 50 at least.
Yeah, but
50
definitely
violations.
violations are there. Yeah.
How are other clubs getting sanctioned before them? It's like them and Barcelona just have some immunity deal with FIFA and UEFA. What for Barcelona? They want.
Casbeco.
They
Barcelona was the worst run club in the world, man. That is just unbelievable how they get away with it, how they're able to sign players still, how they're able to register players still. I guess.
See
I don't
that thing where
understand.
they asked Dembele to give some salary.
Yeah, Dembele is part of the contract. Basically, half of his salary, half of the fee goes to him and his agent, and half of it goes to Barcelona.
Why?
Barcelona, like, we're letting you leave, so
Give us some more.
Can you give us a
There's
portion?
no way that's real.
No hard feelings. Give us 10 million. We'll take it. You can go.
There's no way that's real.
Dembele is like,
There's
why
no
should
way
I
that's
give you?
real.
So that came, he posted on the group, right?
Now all the Barcelona fans are like, oh, this guy's a traitor, betrayal.
Are you serious?
How does he not care?
Barca
for
asked the player to give us.
now Frank Kessie has been told to leave the club.
He's already signed
Yeah.
for a Saudi club.
So Al Ahly have come in for him, and they're paying 50 million. Now they're championing him as a hero. He's like, he joined for free, he took a salary cut, and now he's contributing 15 million to the club's finances by leaving. What a player!
Barca act like they're NGO.
Shocking.
They act like they're NGO.
Exactly.
Shocking. Man. Shocking.
You know, NGO gets donations, they're like, thank you so much.
By the way, I want.
With this FFP, Aman Hunk, it's based on the amount of revenue that you earn. What are the percentages of how much you can spend off the revenue that you earn?
It's also to do with the profits you earn.
So, Anuj, there's no way Manchester City is getting more revenue than Manchester United. And they have 150.
No, but see, City, if you count prize money as part of a revenue stream, they have obviously gotten.
See, but that's the thing.
You get so much prize money for Champions League.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how the prize,
That's
the
this
prize
season.
money, fine.
That's this season.
But in Premier League, let's say who finishes first and who finishes 20th. Okay, the television broadcasting rights is a difference of only 20 million.
Yeah, but that's because the Premier League is massive.
No, but I'm just saying, like, United and Chelsea are Premier League clubs only. The sanction for United and Chelsea, I don't know what the sanctions are though.
Every Champions League game that you play, you get paid by UEFA. I think I don't know the figures, but I think you get 2 million or 2.5 million for every game that you play.
See, I know, but what I'm saying is that even if that's true, you have to address 115 breaches first. You
Before
can't,
you get
yeah,
paid,
you have to put some priority on this. You can't be like, okay, fine, United and Chelsea, it looks more possible.
United's breaches are apparently historic breaches, like due to COVID and how they changed the way the losses or something were taken into account.
But the fine was not.
So actually the accounting which United did was in line with what was going on before, but because of COVID and how they changed the rule, they fell short of the thing, and that's why they had to pay the fine. But it's not like they saw the rule and they decided, oh, let's break this rule to get some benefit or anything like that. It was just an accounting.
Speaking of
City are just cheating, bro. City are cheating. Look at the players that they sell for the kind of money they sell. They are cheating. We just have to wait and hope they get caught.
And Nihal Shah, this is for you. James Stafford for 19 million. You think we're stupid or what?
Come on.
dude, speaking of FFP,
The guy that they sold, apparently he's one of their best prospects. 40 million they sold him, no?
Bro, prospects can't go for 19 million with the established players going for 10 million, bro.
Yeah.
guys, very quickly, speaking of FFP, there is one country right now in world football that's obviously not confined by FFP rules. I wanted to understand what your opinions were on how Saudi are approaching revamping or rather getting their league on the map. Now, I personally don't disagree with it. They have the money. No other league is not doing this if they had the sort of resources that Saudi do. Yes, they're going to have a problem with not attracting the best talent for playing in the most competitive competitions in the world.
Why?
But I mean, they're never going to be able to play the Champions League. The Premier League is because they're not in Europe.
So?
So geography.
They're not part of UEFA. UEFA, the governing body, doesn't govern Saudi Arabia.
America, a non South American team also participates, right? If I'm not wrong.
Only Japan participated because of the
No,
entire.
so every Copa, I
Every
think now
Copa, yeah.
2 teams from outside South America will be participating. So I think Japan was one of the teams that
So there is a
participated.
possibility that a competition that is for a particular continent opens up to other.
Which is fair, but right now the stigma against them is that they're spending this sort of money when they shouldn't be, and I don't think that's fair because yes, they are inflating prices and wages and the very economics of the game, but you can't tell me that Barcelona would not be doing this in La Liga if they didn't have the
Yeah.
constrictions that
To put my entire political bias aside, I think Saudi Arabia, what they're doing is fine. I mean, it's not something that.
Where do you think it stops though? Because they're setting. I mean, China tried doing this a few years ago.
But China did this without the backing. So what happened is in China they didn't have they proposed a financial backing,
Yeah.
but they didn't actually have it.
Right.
They're trying to create
No,
something.
they didn't giving so much revenue to foreign players. They didn't want so much money leaving their country. That's why they decided to stop this.
Exactly my point. But at the time, you had players like Oscar, you had Iniesta going to China and playing there. Where do you think this stops if it does at all? Because if this doesn't stop, I mean, we all saw the Mbappe
And one more
news.
thing you need to understand is Chinese, the government operates differently. Saudi Arabia, this is literally operated by the, let's say, the government only.
Right.
So the backing is on a different.
Benzema bigger than Oscar.
No, but if you see where MLS and China compared to Saudi have like failed is like they've not been able to attract players who are in the peak of their career.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you see Saudi, they are targeting players like, say, for example, a Verratti or even a Frank Kessie who can easily join one of the Premier League or Serie A teams for good value and be a quality player.
Ruben Neves.
Yeah, Ruben Neves. Yeah, Ruben Neves is a perfect.
And I
example.
think
I
the
think
money-
ASM's gone there as
It
well.
was
Right?
between Barcelona
Yes,
and Saudi for him, and he chose Saudi basically. So I mean that's where Saudi
Yeah, but
Arabia
my-
is doing well right
My
now.
question to you is where does this stop? Because if the resources are almost unlimited, we all saw the news of Mbappe's offer that came on the table. That is beyond me as to why he's a better man than me. I'll put my hands up and I'll say he's a better man than me because if I'm being paid 700 million to while giving the club that I'm currently playing for 230 million in a
Yeah.
transfer fee
And
and being allowed to go join the club that I want to join in a year,
Yeah.
I
No
don't.
brainer.
Yeah, how do you not? How do you say no to 700 million when everything's aligning itself? So he's definitely a better man than me for saying no. But I'm saying when you have wages like that being offered, right? It is going to have an impact on youngsters. It is going to have an impact on how football develops in a global scale.
So I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with it. But what the established leagues will do is that they'll portray it as something that is like something like a Super League.
See, especially if you
Because-
look at the Premier League, the Premier League is doing that, has been doing that for the last few years already, poaching the best players from
Yeah.
all the other leagues and offering the best
Yeah.
wages and whatever. So the Premier League or people who are involved with the Premier League can't suddenly say Saudi is wrong for doing this because
Yeah.
they've been doing the same thing.
But they will do that because they don't want to lose their throne.
Yeah.
Premier
Yeah.
League is right now the premier football competition in the world. Like how NBA is in US or worldwide, Premier League is literally that.
No,
in
but I
football.
see. Here's where I disagree. Right, I don't think that even if Saudi go down this route, that they're ever going to compete with the Premier League only because of the geographic location of the place. It's too convenient right now for a European team to be followed on a global scale. Right. When it comes to Saudi, you're gonna be losing your American market because those games are gonna be being played at like 4 5 a.m. How many games from the States during the preseason did you watch? I mean, waking up at 6 a.m. was such a bitch for me. But we did it because we know it's one or two. I don't think they're going to compete with the Premier League, but I do think that they're going to lower the quality of players in the leagues by attracting all the
No,
best.
but I think the Premier League won't really suffer because of Saudi, but I think leagues like Syria and
Will
La
suffer,
Liga will
yes.
suffer because you see the players that Syria have lost over this summer. Some of their best midfielders and brightest prospects have moved either to Premier League or to Saudi.
You can jot down Syria's 20
Yeah.
best world class players, like 20 best players, and Saudi Arabia matches them pound for pound.
Yeah.
And Syria supposedly had a good season last year because they had 3 teams in European finals.
Right.
They didn't win anything, but they still had 3 teams in European
Yeah.
finals.
Arabian
But then
League-
you see all those teams are weaker now.
Imagine how much money, like hypothetically think about it, like they keep attracting players. Imagine how much money they can pump into other parts of the world to develop football and bring it to
That's what
Saudi.
they're doing, right? That's what they're doing now. Saudi
See, that's
got
what- if you see the
Newcastle,
difference-
Qatar are in
yeah.
for United.
So like how China just wanted to grow football in the country a little bit by attracting all these players from Europe, but there wasn't really a project they had in mind.
Yeah.
So Saudi Arabia are building towards hosting a World Cup, so they want that buzz to be generated.
Did you see how much? Did you see
for the
how
next
much
5
he
years, 5-6 years?
What I
Did you see
think
how much the sporting director pledged into football?
17 billion.
Yeah, something.
17
like that.
billion in the next
In
7
the
years.
next 5 years.
See,
yeah.
Saudi want to host the 2030 World Cup. Okay, so they are building towards that. So they want to start now, create that football environment and that infrastructure and
yeah.
everything, so that when the time comes for the World Cup, they're actually ready. Like if you see Qatar, they weren't ready. They after winning the bid, they built most of their stadiums and got it done in time.
And I
But
think
Saudi already have good
Saudi's not-
infrastructure and they're going to build even more for the next 5-6 years, and they have enough funds to do it.
Saudi is not aspiring to be the top league in the world, but they're definitely aspiring to be like a top 5, top 6.
Yeah.
And they can get there. If you see Serie A's quality right now, it's literally
Yeah.
very
Let's
nice.
just hope that they don't.
See, like Ronaldo said, okay, I don't agree with him when he says the reason he's not playing in Europe is because the European leagues are weak. Because I just think he didn't get the offer he wanted. But he is right in the fact that the European leagues are becoming weaker because of Saudi's intervention, and in general, like Premier League is so
Dominant.
Yeah, so dominant right now. May not be result wise, but you see every player from the other league wants to move to the Premier League. Like yesterday, Fiorentina was in the Conference League final, I think,
Yes.
with West Ham. Now their best players joining Bournemouth for like 10 million.
Yeah.
Huh? But
Yeah.
you wouldn't
Other leagues best
you wouldn't
players.
see this happening. Like no Premier League player would go join a Serie A team for
Yeah.
You
Right.
won't see the best player from the Premier League team go join a Serie A team. Like how many players would you see from, say, Chelsea's best players? How many of them would go and join AC Milan? Only the ones who are rejects, basically like Pulisic, are joining AC Milan.
Yeah, and he looks good. I mean,
Think about
he's
this,
looking good for that.
Aston Villa got Coutinho last season.
Yeah.
Aston Villa got Coutinho last season. Any other, let's say any other Serie A, like a Serie A or Bundesliga, can they get, example, a Bruno Fernandes to one of their teams? They can't.
I mean, I
That's
think
what
La
the
Liga
league
still has that pull with those two clubs.
Well, those two, yes, but you think about overall, you can't get Premier League's top creators to your leagues. But
Yeah.
Aston Villa is getting Philippe Coutinho from Bayern Munich or Barcelona. That time.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Let's see. I'm excited for the new season. I'm sure you guys are. I'm sure everybody watching us is excited for the new season as well. We do hope to be doing this continually throughout the course of the season. We have a bunch of really fun shit planned, and like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you for episode 2. Great. Thank you guys so much, and have a good season.